All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can't see me. Hold up. Now you can see me. Not like you want to see me. We want to see JDM cars, right? So let's look at JDM cars. Um, so in the last episode, we talked about the Nissan 180, right? And we talked about the different versions of the years and the engines that came in them, which is pretty cool. How to tell the difference between the S1 and the S2 versions. Uh, the Series 1, Series 2, the way they changed their bumpers and all that good stuff, and lights and pretty cool stuff. So today we're going to talk about, you got it, the SIL80, Sileighty, right? A Nissan Silvia, and a Nissan 180SX, right? They blended this car together, right? And I'm going to go over a few things, but this is from this picture you're looking at is from Initial D. If you haven't watched Initial D, I highly suggest you find those videos on YouTube. Get the list of your chapter 1, right? And start watching those videos. Or get the books and start reading them. I would collect the books if I were you. I mean, I did. I grabbed a couple from Japan when I was there. Oh my gosh, like it was so awesome. I grabbed the episode 1 and 2. They're all in Japanese, and you read them backwards, with their books, which is kind of super cool. I should have brought them here, but they're upstairs in my closet. Um, but it has a blue Sileighty in one of the races, and it's so dope. Like it, I'm not even going to get into Initial D just quite yet because there is a lot. Like, if you love engines and cars in general, and you just appreciate the value of engineering behind it, whether it's good or bad, and being able to problem solve with it, like, you're gonna love Initial D. Like, you've got to watch Initial D. So get you a little Japanese in you, all right? That's what she said. And get into it. All right, let's get into it. So, they have an Initial D wiki, which is cool as shit. Like, it tells you so much. It gives you pictures. It gives you engines, custom parts that were in these cars, right? So, this is dope. I mean, this is pretty cool, right? So when you get into Initial D, save this website. It's initiald.fandom.com. Like, it's pretty cool. It's got some cool information. But basically, they put a Nissan RPS 13, right? An S13, the Nissan Silvia S13, which was from like 88 to 92, 91, something like that, right? And they blended a Nissan 180. All right, so let's go back a little bit. Why did they put the front end of a Nissan Silvia S13 on the body and chassis of a Nissan 180 SX? Well, let's read a little bit, right? It's all right here. So, racing, Japan, they were racing in the mountains all the time, right? They were drifting. Great drift cars here. Like, they're just awesome. They're light. They're just awesome. Um, It is unknown what this first car was, be it a Sileighty or its original 180SX version or something else entirely. At some point, this guy in this series joined her as her navigator. So in the Sileighty, in the series of Initial D, there's two girls that drive these. One is driving, the other is navigating for her. You're coming up to a turn, a 90-degree turn, like she's giving directions. Like, it's just part of the racing here. But what happened is they would end up crashing. Not in the series, but the in real life, they would go in the mountains, they would drift, right? And they would crash these cars. And what happens is there was a company. Let me see. We're going to go over some stuff here, but there was a company called Kids. Where was it? Where is it? It's in Japan. Let's see. Let me just read this a little bit and I'll bring you up to speed. So basically, the S13 Sylvia was introduced in 1988, right? It became immensely popular in Japan and won the 1988 Car of the Year Japan Award. All right, the Sylvia was no longer exported. However, rebadged 180SXs were instead sold in most markets. European versions of this car were still known as the 200SX, right? We saw the 200 in Europe. We talked about that in the last episode, right? And then the 240 version in North America. Let's see. In Japan, Nissan renamed this car the Nissan 180SX, which was exported to North America primarily under the name 240SX. All right. Nothing changed. I mean, there's slight differences, but the 240 is the 180 in North America. And all right, so they got the S13, right? Here's the front of an S13. They basically took the fenders, the hood, the bumpers, the lights, the grills, all that front, the whole front end of a Nissan Silvia S13, and they put it on the 180SX front end, right? You see the difference in the two, right? Got the pop-up headlights, right? It just looks much cleaner. Like, I like the pop-up lights head style, I love them, but when you make it a Silvia S13 front end, it changes the whole dynamics. Like, you are going JDM balls to the wall. All right. Let's see. So the S13 from 88 to 1994, overlapping with the Silvia S14 93. The Nissan Silvia used fixed headlights, which is what we're seeing here. They're not pop-up anymore. Whereas a 180SX, simply a hatchback version of the Silvia, introduced at the same time, used pop-up. So we just discussed that. All right, so in 1998, the S13 Silvia was resurrected, in part by a variant produced by a Japanese tuning company, Kid's Heart. Right, so, oh gosh, I just clicked on something that shouldn't have. All right, go back. All right, so a Japanese company called Kid's Heart was reviving these Nissans, right, because they featured a 180S hatchback body with the front end of a Silvia. So they made about 500 units of the Sileighty. And yeah, it was because the front end of a Silvia S13 was lighter. The parts were all lighter, and it just made for a cleaner look, all sorts of reasons. The 180SX had heavier parts, right? You had the heavier headlights, the pop-up style with the motors, and the whole bumper, everything just was heavier. Let's keep reading here. The Sileighty was originally created by Japanese enthusiasts for their own 180SXs and is currently a common modification for both the 180SX and the 240SX fastback. Right, so the 180 in Japan and the Nissan 240 that was in North America, people did the same thing. A Sileighty appears in the Japanese manga and anime series Initial D when they were doing the Tugan drifting, where it was featured in one of the first battles in the manga, as well as in one of the last battles in First Stage. First Stage is the first group of the storyline. The creation of the Sileighty was then followed by another version of the Silvia known as the 1Via. Based on the chassis of the S13, the front end of the Silvia would be removed and replaced with the front end of a 180SX. So a 180 now to a Silvia, right? So not only is there a Sileighty, there's the reverse version. What the fuck? Oh man, that is some weird ass shit. based on the chassis of the S13, the front end of the Silvia would be removed and replaced with the front end of a 180SX. The 1Via was never retailed as a complete car in Japan, though it was in North America. The coupe version of the 240SX used the same body shell as the Silvia, but with the 180SX or the 240SX nose. What? A rare Silvia convertible, an unofficial Sileighty. I want to see this. Well, there you are, folks. It's a motherfucking 180SX front end, pop-up headlights, and a S13 chassis. What in the universe is happening with these cars? That's a clean ass 1Via, bro. That fucking hood with these pop-up lights, black. I don't know what kind of fenders these have, but it's got some Nissan vibes all over this car. I'm kind of digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. A 1Via and a Sileighty. They're just reversed. Okay. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so that is your Sileighty. Now, again, with the years, right, you had either the S13s, if you have the body of the S13, it came with either the CA18D or the turbo version of it, which we talked about right here, but it was in the first years, the earlier years, like the 88 to the mid 90s. Now, 91 or 92 and up, you came with the SR20s and the SR20 DET motors. So, yeah, 1989 to 2002. The original one was, yeah, the first versions of these things. But basically, yeah, you had either this set of motors or these sets of motors, turbo or non-turbo. I prefer the SR20 DET, but you can't go wrong with the the CA18 turbo, as long as you tuned it and all that, and you weren't like going crazy with it. Like, you could do some cool ass drifting with this car, but you gotta get the turbo. Like, come on, get a turbo, get the turbo. All right, so that is basically a motherfucking Sileighty. I don't know what's going on with this. Here's some other versions of the Sileighty. Here's a tuned one. Oh, that one done up. That one looks kind of cool. See what this one's all about. Are we about to do a review of a JDM car right here? Got a Rocket Bunny kit. Got that famous painting from the... I don't even know where that painting's from, but it's everywhere. In Japan, I see it everywhere. 180 back or 180 chassis with front end of a Sileighty or a S13. That's pretty cool. Here's another version, the perfect Sileighty 180. Right, I like the wheels and S13 front end. Now, this is a whole front end. You're talking about bumper, fender, hood, lights, grill, you name it. Here's the back end of the 180SX. You can tell by this centerpiece that it's not the same color. If this centerpiece was red, it's the earlier version. They went with, I think, white on this car originally. So this one's probably custom. But when they did the second version of these, the later models, it was painted to match, I believe, and not a solid red color like a reflector with the lights. So that's how you can tell this is a later model, unless they swap it out. But yeah, looking clean. Got the spoiler on there. Got RPS 13 on the center, because it is an RPS 13 model. Let's see. Side shot there. The front wings, bonnet, bumper, and headlights are all swapped out for the S13 variant. What's even cooler is the fact that all the lines add up, as you can see from the pic above, right? So this is where your 180 stops. And look at the S13 fenders. Beautiful. You ain't got to modify a damn thing. Oddly enough, Nissan created the hatchback and coupe versions of the S chassis, and a lot of the parts were interchangeable. The doors are identical. The 240SX in America came with the pop-up front end from the hatchback, and the brick headlight front end was only in Japan. So there you go. Like, literally buy the front end clip of a S13 for your 180SX that you've got rotting away in your garage. It should not be. All right. It's pretty cool. I like it. This is nice. Damn, that antenna's long. Look at that motherfucker. Shit. That motherfucker like 4 foot long. You reach satellites with that thing. God dang. The front end looks like it's supposed to be there. It makes you wonder why Nissan didn't bother building this car as Toyota did with the 11 Coupe in the hatchback. The side angle shows just how beautiful this lady, arguably. This should have come from the factory as an option. It looks perfectly proportional. Luckily, Kids Heart created 400 official Sileighties back in the 1998. That company was on it. That, hell yeah. Like, I wish I lived back in this time. Well, I did live back in that time, but I wish I lived in Japan in this back of time. Like, Nissan caught on to what Kids Heart was doing and worked out a deal. They sent the cars to Kids Heart, which was a local tuning shop in Nagoya. I've been there. And the 400 cars were sold in their store and local Nissan dealership. What the fuck? Now, a Sileighty being built by some shop is putting them back in the dealership. Who the motherfucker does that shit? I don't want a Supra no more. I want a motherfucking Sileighty. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Let me apologize to her. Well, there you go, guys. What dealership is going to accept something else? Oh my gosh. Nobody's ever done that. I never heard of that. Sold in their store and local Nissan dealerships. All of these proper Sileighties wore the Sileighty logo on the glass, kooky skirts, rear spats, and center garnish, rear lights, and kooky spoiler, all essentially from the facelift 180SX Type X. So they were badged? Up front, the Sileighty had the PS13 Aero front bumper and a GTR grille. Okay. This car is rocking a fiberglass version of the OEM Aero bumper with a slightly more aggressive front lip. Okay. It all looks like it's supposed to be there. You would be hard pushed to believe otherwise if you knew nothing about the chassis. It's fucking dope. I've never actually come across such an original take on this lady. Most are usually drift cars or have some sort of heavy modifications done to them. This example is a very lightly modified and even has the original unrolled arches. People roll their arches all the time, but looks like he's got an HKS power exhaust, some advans. The Sileighty screams 90s when you zoom in on the decals. Speakers. Da, da, da. The Advan SA3Rs are another 90s favorite from a time when people were obsessed with circuit racing, and many of the wheels of that era came with a fake center lock look. These three spokes are the quintessential 90s wheel. Quintessential, whatever. And complement this car perfectly. There you go, Sileighty. Here is a Sileighty badge. This one appears to be a sticker, but I'm pretty sure all the quarter glass on these had this sticker. I'm not aware of a proper printed Sileighty glass that's actually in existence, as these would have been incredibly costly to make. But I could be wrong. The inside is very tame for an S chassis. It has what appears to be an OEM S14 steering wheel and a few choice modifications. Checkered mats and a couple of gauges. Keep it simple, guys. Got a boost controller right there. Checkered mats. The mats are about as Japanese as it can get. Yeah, definitely checkered stitched mats. SR20 DET. That's what I'm talking about. Under the hood lies a trusty SR20 DET. There is zero rust under the bay. I could not comprehend how original and clean this thing looked. Not a speck of grime anywhere. But here's some rust. This little checkered cover engine dampener was a classic piece of strange Japanese styling, but I like it. But I quite like it there. Nothing else sticks out aside from a Blitz front mount, an expansion bottle, and a Cusco strut brace. So Cusco strut braces were from Japan, and they were badged, or I think they were engraved on there that they were from Japan. You know how I knew that? I didn't. I watched a video that we're going to see here in a second. I saw it. I don't know everything. Shit. So there you go, man. It's pretty clean. Like, this car altogether is badass. It screams JDM. Who would not want this? 2.0 SR20 DET blacktop, Blitz 3-inch catback system, Blitz air filter, and a front mount intercooler, Cusco coilovers, front brace, rear tower brace, and a rear C-pillar brace. Titan AutoWorks Grade 4 import in June 2016. Kids Heart Sileighty, right? That's built by Kids Heart. Full Kooky Type X kit. GTR grill and Aero style front bumper. So the GTR grill, I'm pretty sure it might be from the 32. I believe it's from the 32 because the 32 looks like this. That's dope. And with some 17-inch Super Advan Racing's SA3Rs, first gens. Aftermarket front bumper, Evo 5 Recaro recliner. Everybody got Recaros. I want Recaros. We all know that. I want the Recaro confettis for the Supra. But they're like damn near $3,000. Nismo short shifter, boost oil, and water temperature gauges. There you go. Nicely done. All right. Same thing with this guy. This guy's got all sorts of stuff happening. All sorts of stuff. It's a cool little build. Rocket Bunny build. Ooh, that's clean. You got to get you an SR20. Look at this roll cage. Bride interior. Oh, dude. What the fuck? Lomax brides. Those are dope. Carbon fiber back. Oh, I'll take those. I would take those. Yeah, that's dope. I'm sorry, but y'all got to have some fun. Y'all got to make a Sileighty. Somebody make a Sileighty and bring it here. I'm over here in Texas. If you in Texas, matter of fact, if you in San Antonio, Texas, let's raise some hell. If you got a Sileighty and you're in San Antonio, Texas, bring that shit out. For real. We'll go to a car meet and we'll be cool like this guy. Right? He is cool as hell. Tell me he ain't cool. God dang, what a beautiful picture. He barely fits in it. It's like perfect. The Nissan 180 with an S13 front end fits you like a glove. Look at this. Tell me you don't want a mother Sileighty. God dang. If that ain't the next car I get, I don't know what is. If that ain't the next car I get, I don't know what is. All right, let's check this one out. Turbo. Probably got the SR20. Or it could have the CA18 turbo. But, nah. It's got to have the SR20. Does he have builds? No. Clean back end. Painted to match center. Look at that kit. That kit is dope. It's literally just clean. Oh, I love those wheels. Look at those wheels. That offset on black. Can't go wrong. Go ahead, back it up. Back it up. Oh, we're driving.
Oh, better not be after me. Let's go.
Better not be after me.
Busy day. Busy day. A lot of truck traffic. Well, how's it going, JDM crew?
We're doing great,
John
sir.
Here from JDM Expo, and welcome to the channel. We're wide. There's no such thing as too wide here.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's continue on.
I mean, just look at the flushness there, but all right, let's dive into the engine bay here. But yeah, just one more take at this. Wow. That Millennium Jade.
That boy in heaven, y'all.
This is where it gets pretty interesting because it's not super crazy tuned or anything.
SR20.
It's definitely better than stock, but it's not like insane.
God, that's sick.
So we got HKS intake. Going to the turbo. HKS blow-off valve, which you heard earlier. Love that sound. Down to the Gritty intercooler.
Gritty intercooler.
Up and around to the intake plenum. Boom, more power, spin that turbine, out the big exhaust, very nice. Gritty radiator here. We also have a little voltage checker there too, very cool. We got an aluminum reservoir there.
Check that out.
They definitely kept an eye out on these details. Look at that Cusco strap
This is
bar.
where I saw it.
It is made in Japan.
Boom.
And also those numbers, for those of you guys wanting to know a little bit more about this.
Look at that. He's got the K version of the RPS 13. We talked about this. RPS S13, right? SR20 DET and a 98. It's pretty dope.
K RPS 13. Yeah, good old S13, man. Great chassis. Other things that I did want to mention, from underneath, you guys saw that there's a better oil cooler, but also we have oil filter relocation kit right here.
That's cool.
Gritty lines.
I've seen people do that.
braiding, very cool.
Like, y'all got to do these things. Like, this makes it so much easier. Like, put your oil filter that's buried and put it up here. Relocate it. Like, you can't go wrong with that mod. That's just something cool to do.
So a lot of the things for like style as well as good old function over fashion, just a lot of reinforcing all these things for performance. We do have HIDs, by the way, as you can see there and over here, and we got Impol brand horn, so tuned for those of you guys that like custom horn as well. So yeah, a lot of
Yeah, we
things,
like custom horns.
Details. That's what I really like about
This dude is
this
cool as
car.
fuck.
Pretty intense.
Look at
And
that.
there we go. Let's have a little bit of an
Look
exterior
at those
walkthrough
body
here.
lines.
So you can see.
I'm about to pause, y'all. Like, this build is just awesome, right? Go to JDM Expo. Like, give him a like, give him a shout out. Like, they have some cool ass cars. But look at this. Clean as mother. Lord have mercy.
Very nice attention to the body kit here and keeping it real flush. Just look at that.
God, that's so
And
cool.
while it's riding, I mean, it's not rubbing, no scraping, very, very clean. Also on the other side, I gotta show you guys that. Photos up on the website, as I said.
Bruh. I want to drive
Real
it so
intense. Look at that. And also the brake kit is upgraded, by the way, so we got the work racing wheels.
bad. Work racing wheels.
With Advans here.
Gotta love the
265s,
works.
So wide, but not too crazy. They are 18s, but look at that. As you can see, slotted rotors. Follow along here.
God, it's so clean.
Same in the rear. See that shine right there? Slotted rotors.
I see that shine. Ain't gotta tell me twice.
And I'm just gonna follow the lines again because it's
Ooh, we got the rear
Real nice
roof
there.
spoiler. Nice touch. Got the painted centerpiece.
and the lighting's actually really good to really emphasize this
Yeah, it is.
Millennium Jade.
That color is so cool. Pause. Like, money shot right there. How many of you guys are drooling? How many of you guys have shit your pants? I probably shit my pants, but I'm not going to admit it on YouTube. All right. What in the hell? And he goes over this car, man. This dude just made my day. This car is freaking thick. Look at that. Gotta subscribe, right? Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. So there was a couple of builds. All right, we went over a couple of builds. We know what an S80 or a Sileighty is now, and a 1 Via. Right, those that wanted to do it the other way around. Those are just as clean, but man, look up Sileighty and you will have a blast. Definitely go to Initial D. Go to Initial D and watch the series. It's just so cool. Just so clean. So clean. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. That is the Sileighty and a little bit of the one Via just in reverse. I hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, give me a shout out and be like, yo, bro, this video sucked ass. All right. Anyways, peace out. I'll see you in the next one.